we'll kick this off as a recording in progress now. Rock on. We'll give them one more minute. And Jack, I appreciate you. Real quick, before we get started, do you know, because I know that you're part of a special, I call it a sorority or a fraternity. Do you know Inga Van Wagner?
Inga Van Wagner. Why does that name sound very, very familiar?
Yeah, well, she was a cheerleader with the Cowboys also.
What years? Do you know?
I don't know. I would think that it was either just before you, maybe while you were in San Fran, she was here.
Okay,
Because
possibly.
she was married to a classmate of mine, and so we're Facebook friends. And her daughter, I think her daughter is Montana, and she's a model. I'd say probably a supermodel because I've seen stuff on the runway. But I just thought that if I threw that name at you, you might know
Yeah.
it.
It's a small, excuse me, now my voice wants to crack. Hello, everyone. Yeah, it's a small group. I think we're at 863 DCCs across the world over a 60-year history. And so we are a close-knit group. Sometimes we know each other, but if you cheered with one name and got married and have a new name, so,
Yes.
it's always fun playing catch up, but man.
Yeah.
Well,
I tell you what, it's boom, it just clicked at 10:32. So I appreciate you joining. And I don't like to waste a whole lot of time and or take fanfare from you. So we appreciate you. And we're just excited to hear whatever it is that's on your heart that you'd like to share with, with my peeps today. And again, I'm so thankful for everyone who's taken 20 or 25 minutes out of your schedule to join in today. And so we've got a personal friend of mine that I adore, and we don't spend enough time together, but she is very busy, and she's got a little mini me that also occupies a lot of time. So Jackie, thank you again, sweetheart. I appreciate you.
You know my struggle. Okay, got my phone on silence. Well, guys, thank you so much, Ben, for even asking me to be here. Ben, to echo what he said, a dear friend of mine, respect the man, love the man. I think our relationship has transcended business and real estate, and I call him a brother. And so his invitation carries some weight, and I'm honored and I'm proud. And thank you guys for making some time. So a little bit about me. My name's Jackie Pearson, and I have a colorful background. Let's say colorful. That's a good word. I work at Great Western Home Loans mortgage company, and my title is manager. I'm one of the marketing managers there. But really, what I do there is I'm a connector. I connect buyers, pre-qual, pre-approved, with agents. It's a unique role that you don't find at most mortgage companies. So let me give you a quick 10-second story on how that came about. Great Western was one of the pioneers in really working with Zillow on how to capitalize and take advantage of a different revenue stream, which was selling leads to lenders. They had been focused on selling them to the agents. And so Fred, our CEO, said, well, let's give it a try. I'm going to take one of my loan officers. We're going to have a little spin. We're going to buy some of those leads, the same ones that are maybe dropping in your inbox. We're getting that same one in ours. Let's see if I can drum up some business and get some people pre-approved, and let's see where this thing goes. And so over the course of a few months, that loan officer said, this is an untapped market. We have got to do this. And so that spin that started at about $5,000 a month grew to $200,000 a month, and they brought in more loan officers, and our current spin is averaging around $1 million a month at Zillow. That's a whole lot of leads they're buying. Before I came on board, the process looked something like this. They get Mr. Buyer on the phone, they start collecting documents, they send out a pre-qual, they're still collecting documents, and then they give them the golden ticket, your pre-approval letter, you can go buy a home. All right, what are you going to show me? Well, no, I'm your loan officer. I'm here in the background. If your realtor needs anything, they'll reach out. They're going to show you the homes. So for about a period of 2 years, we were spending a lot of money on the leads and then sending it out to go find their own agent, where they realize we're not really seeing the conversion. Because when Mr. Realtor enters the equation, he may say something like, I have a guy named Carlos over at XYZ, and he might be able to get you a better rate. And we've worked a lot of deals together. So fast forward, they bring me on saying, what if at that point when they say they don't have a realtor, we have someone in-house that's been building out a database of realtors throughout the state of Texas. Um, that's actually not how I met Ben. I met him when I was at Stewart Title. I got brought into Great Western because they saw that I love networking. I love the daily activity. I love the process. So I came on board and that's what I do. I go to my database as soon as their buyer that comes through, and we've had wrinkles where maybe we're handing out too many pre-quals and agents want that pre-approval. So we're working on tier systems. And aside from that, Ben kind of told you my bio. I'm a licensed agent. I don't work with buyers and sellers. I work for myself. I buy investment properties. I buy rentals. I run Airbnbs, and having that license has helped me. And then the colorful part of this is I was a cheerleader. That's going to be the bulk of what I want to talk to you about today, but I promise it'll all make sense. So stay with me. So I was a cheerleader for the San Francisco 49ers for 4 football seasons. Yes, I'm one of those people that a lot of Texans hate, the Californians that are invading the great state of Texas. That's me, except I came a long time ago. So I cheered for San Francisco for 4 years and had one of the biggest honors of my life. At the end of the year, similar to an all-star game for the Pro Bowl players, each franchise gets to choose one cheerleader to take that trip to Hawaii and represent the entire organization. The owners decide, the coaches, but more importantly, your peers. So in my 4th year, during one of the final games against the New York Jets, my picture went up on the Jumbotron and I felt like I had made it. Yes, success. I go to the Pro Bowl. It's in Hawaii, and I see this Dallas Cowboys cheerleader. I had watched the show, I had heard the rumors, the hardest team to make, the world famous, the galore. But when I saw that uniform, they say it's hard, huh? I'm always up for a challenge. Let's go. Within 1 week of getting back to California from that trip, I had already booked a one-way ticket to try out for the Dallas Cowboys. And I had heard it was going to be a hard year. Thousands of girls, because this new stadium was about to open 2009. At the time, it was called Cowboy Stadium. But I dug my heels in, studied the process, figured out what I needed to do, and I ended up making the team. And 5 years later, on the last game of the season, my teammates, my coaches, and the Jones family decided I should represent the Dallas Cowboys again at the Pro Bowl in Hawaii. I don't say that to brag. I promise if you stay with me, it's going to make sense. But as it stands, I'm the only cheerleader in NFL history to do what I've done 2 times with 2 very well-known franchises. And that brings me to what I want to talk to you about. Success, the road to success, the journey to hitting those goals and destinations. And I think I'm going to challenge you before my 15 minutes of fame is up to think about your goals and your successes a little bit differently. In my opinion, success is simply the side effect to the process. Success was never the goal. If you ask the cheerleader that tried out for San Francisco wearing the wrong outfit, because I came from college cheer, I wanted to flip and get thrown in the air. And I was like, you're dancing? You're spinning? All right, let me figure this out. If you ask that girl, what are my goals? What's the destination? I couldn't have dreamt that I would go to the Pro Bowl not only once, but twice, especially for the Dallas Cowboys. What got me there? The process, the journey. I'm a firm believer that destinations are simply moving targets. It's always going to change, and you're going to find yourself chasing and chasing, and it gets further and further away the more you chase after it. I'm sure we can all agree that you had a year one goal that you were chasing, and quickly it turned into, now I need to double my production. And then in year 3, I want to work more on the listing side instead of the buyers that run me ragged all weekend. You keep chasing a destination, and as you get there, it seems like it keeps moving further out. Success feels like, oh, I'm just not there yet. But if I could. So I want to take a moment and challenge you. What if for a second we eliminated the scoreboard? We eliminated the goal. We eliminated the thought of success or hitting a milestone. And we simply said, I'm going to dial in on the process. I'm going to dial in on the journey. What happened when I made the Dallas Cowboys cheerleaders? Funny story. I get to my first field rehearsal, and it's actually at UTA because the stadium was just finishing up construction. And I'm at this field rehearsal, and our coach and our choreographer put us in this formation. And as a rookie, you're in the back. Everything when it comes to the Dallas Cowboys cheerleaders is by seniority. We're even paid by seniority. I could work the same event sitting beside a 5-year veteran, and we're paid differently because of seniority. So here I am at the back of the formation, and all I could think is, man, one day when my mom and dad get here, I'm going to move up maybe a row or two. That way, maybe the camera guys can see me. I won't be back by the visitor player bench, and maybe I'll get on the Jumbotron. I'm going to move up. So I put my head down, and every day that rookie year, I promise you, look it up. It's all over CMT. We have a TV show. When practice ended at midnight, I was there till 2 a.m. I put in extra work. And all I was thinking about was moving up in that formation and really impressing my mom and dad. I did it. I made the world famous Dallas Cowboys cheerleaders. And now you can actually find me. As I was putting in the work, 2 or 3 teammates started staying after with me. Hey, Jackie, can I stay behind? Are you running what we just learned? Yeah, come on. All of a sudden, when we're at the rehearsal in front of everyone and there was a question, hey, does that happen on 8? No, it happens on 1. 8 is when you do this. All of a sudden, I became kind of the expert among experts. I wasn't thinking about Pro Bowl 5 years later. I was invested in the process. I was sacrificing. I was committed. Now I can look back and realize the success that I could have even put my finger on, oh, I'm going to move up, it was tenfold by not letting that be the sole focus. I'm going to say the word process about 1,000 times before we leave today. You're going to hate it, but it's because I really want to drive it home. I want to drive it. I want to challenge you. Because here's what I do know. This industry, it's goals, it's numbers, it's year-over-year growth, it's volume. I get it. And it would take me completely deconstructing everything that you've been programmed to consider success and reconstruct something new that just says, what if I was committed to the process? What if I stopped chasing the destination and said, I'm going to put my head down and do the work and do the good work, and success will just be the byproduct of that. I also want you to consider maybe a challenge. How can you work in the process and not be emotionally swayed by the results? How can you have your head down and work on the process, be committed, sacrifice, do the work, and not be swayed by the result? Because here's what I can tell you. My second year as a Dallas Cowboys cheerleader, I did not move up in the formation. Did I do the work? Absolutely. Did I probably deserve it? I thought so. Did it happen? No. I stayed right in the back line with the new incoming rookies. Frustrated? Hell yeah, if I'm honest. But did I stop doing the work? Did I abandon the process? If you are emotionally swayed by the results, something now has power over you. Something now can affect your confidence. It can make you wonder, where do I fit in the marketplace? Where do I fit in this industry? Because I know I said to myself, where do I even fit on this team? I feel like I'm the backup dancer to a sea of stars up front, the veterans, the girls on show groups that traveled on USO tours and went to the Oprah Winfrey show. I am the backup dancer. Can people even see me? I get it. But once you start being swayed by the results and you let that dictate your value, your worth, your place, you have lost. How can we stay focused on the process and not be swayed by the result? There is also something beautiful that now looking back that I learned happens in the process. The process, the road, the journey, whatever word you want to call it, is where your habits are formed, where your character's developed, where you get to centralize and focus in on why you're doing it anyways. You learn that about yourself during the process. If I could say one thing that could maybe help us correlate process to action, because I know I'm talking dance and I went NFL cheer on you. So let's eliminate the word process for a moment. Instead of focusing on the process, what if it sounded something like this? I'm going to focus on my calendar, my schedule. I'm going to time block it so I'm efficient. I have an hour to reach out to previous clients. The next hour is about working my current leads, all my perspectives. After that, I'm going to dedicate an hour to education. And I'm not talking your CE courses. I'm talking knowing your industry, being able to speak to what is happening in the current market confidently, so that when the prospective buyer answers or seller answers the phone, you are confident and prepared. So that when you get your previous client, you can talk to them about where they're at, what they should be doing now, and if selling makes sense for them based on the time you gave to education. So let's remove process and say, focus on my calendar. Let's focus on networking. How many of you guys have had the opportunity to get together one-on-one? What I'm hoping is happening in the background is some chatter that I can't see, some private messages. Hey, Stephen, this is the second time I've seen you on here. I'd love to connect. Can you drop your number? What are you doing in your business to win? Where are the areas that you're falling short, and where have you found some success? Block time to network. What if we dialed in on being a connector? Ben will tell you till he's blue in the face, I am passionate about connecting people. That's actually how this all came to play. I said, Ben, what are you doing next Wednesday? Can I invite you to a lunch at Stonebriar? I want to connect you with an investor. You may not need him now, but in the event that you do, I want you to hear what he has, where he's finding these properties, how he's wholesaling them. If you find something, what he's willing to do for you. Are you blocking time to connect people and be a conduit so that your name is always in conversations that are happening in rooms that you're not in because of the good work, the process? These are things that, in my mind, if we dial in, so for me, it was staying late and practicing, it was sacrificing going home on the weekends, it was a time commitment, it was a financial commitment. We didn't get paid anything. I'm sure y'all know that. So doing the jump splits 20 times every night, jumping in the air, landing flat in the splits, I was seeing chiropractors, physical therapists. I even had a financial commitment to be a part of the Dallas Cowboys cheerleaders. What does that look like for you? Are you willing to pay for a coach or a mentor? When we focus on the road and the process, success is the byproduct. Is it possible? Can I challenge you for 30 days to only think about the process, to only think about the journey, to put your head down and do the good work and focus on the road instead of the goal? I wonder what our business would look like. I wonder if we wouldn't be reactive because now we're being proactive. When I was thinking through the things that I wanted to talk about today, it forced me to go back and look at all of these successes that I had and really figure out and uncover where they came from. So what I haven't shared with you is once I went to the Pro Bowl in Hawaii for the second time, I had honestly thought, this is it. This is my final game. I am retiring. I have nothing else to prove. I've achieved my wildest dreams and more. So that week with the other cheerleaders from the NFL, I decided since I had been here before, I could at least help explain and get them excited about what's going to happen next. And then when the coaches and the directors of the Pro Bowl cheerleaders would come to me and say, hey, what's your opinion on this, Jackie? You were here a couple years ago. Did you like when we organized the photo shoot that way? Well, here's what I loved and here's what I didn't. Oh, okay, that makes sense. By the time I left Hawaii for that second time, I had already been invited back to help manage and produce the Pro Bowl cheerleaders the following year. And I put my head down and I did the work and I focused on the process of that task. And by the end of that year, I was invited to manage and oversee the cheerleaders that would travel to the London games, 3 back-to-back games. And then after that, in October, invited to manage cheerleaders that would go out and cheer in Mexico City. And then by the next year, I was managing the drumline and the cheerleaders that would fly in from the country to attend the NFL draft that we had here in Dallas and after Nashville and so on. And before the world shut down, They invited me to Miami to manage the cheerleaders that would be flying in Kansas City against the San Francisco 49ers, and for a week manage their appearances and security and game day movement. I'm going to go back to that girl that tried out for the 49ers. I'm going to go back to the girl that randomly booked a one-way ticket to try out for the Cowboys. If I had put a thumbtack on where I wanted to go and was steadfast on achieving that one thing, how many other opportunities would I have missed? The goal, the destination is forever moving. You're going to chase it. Stop running. Do the work. Let the success be the byproduct. I said process about 1,000 times, but here's some really good news. I think everyone here understands exactly what I'm saying, and that's why you're here. You've already made a commitment to give up 15 to 20 minutes of your day to let someone pour into you about random stuff, even if it is cheerleading. Thank you all for staying tuned in. That already tells me you get it. You could be worried about the numbers and looking at what your volume is at and what's in, but you took 20 minutes to do this. So I already know I'm preaching to the choir. You have done the work and you get it. That's inspiring. That gives me goosebumps because I know without a shadow of a doubt, when you continue on the road that you are already on, success, it's going to be tenfold to what you think you wanted. You thought you wanted to increase by 5 million in sales, double that. That's a promise. Your head's down. You're focused on the schedule. You're focused on your networking. You're focused on problem solving. You're focused on learning about resources that you can give to your clients. Anyone know about Ribbon? I just sat through a training on that. I'm not even working with buyers and I'm learning about resources. Wow, they'll do a cash offer and back your client just so they can win the bidding war? I think that's something if you have a client that's put in 13 offers and is losing, might want to know. Stay focused on the journey. Not, oh, I got to get 6 buyers under contract. The journey, the education, and let success be the byproduct. I promise, I promise. I'm so glad that you guys are here. And it's a short message, but I hope it stung someone in the heart to not minimize the road. Destination great, the road is even better. And it'll surprise you where that road takes you, my goodness, when you fix your eyes on it. You do the work, you sacrifice, you commit. You're not swayed by any result. Yeah, you didn't get the listing. Yeah, your buyer gave up because they've been trying for 6 months. You're not swayed. You're doing the process every single day. And just like I didn't move up in the formation, and that could have altered me in so many ways, it could have made me not try out the following season. And boy, if I could tell you something, that third season when I tried out, I moved up in the formation. I became the co-captain. But even more, I met my husband at the stadium. If I had given up and gone to California, life-altering things would have happened. If I was swayed by the results of that second-year stint, life-altering things wouldn't have been able to occur. I'm so proud of y'all because you're on the journey. You're walking in the process right now. And I hope Ben invites me back here, mark it 1 year from today. And if again, I'm going to challenge you, it's going to be hard. Don't look at the volume. Don't compare year over year. Do the good work. Stay on task with the process. And next year, y'all taking me for drinks. That's all I'm going to say.
Amen.
That is it. It was quick, it was short, and it was sweet. But I hope if it pinged one person, good for me.
Jackie Bob, first of all, I can assure you it pinged everyone. So thank you. I could not be more impressed and more in love with you than I was. How does that happen? So I appreciate you bringing the meat this week. You guys know that's my slogan, and you did that tenfold. And yes, we heard process time and time again, but again, you put emphasis on it, right? You sprinkle some salt and some pepper and some, you know, some cayenne pepper on top of that,
A little bit of that, a
right?
little bit of that.
So
I mean, but really think about it.
yeah,
Imagine if we got rid of goals. Imagine if you
yes,
took the pressure of success and a scoreboard and compared
absolutely,
yourself and you did the work.
absolutely, yeah.
You
And
stayed focused on what you know that you could do. And every day you got better at it.
you got better. And
Let the success be the byproduct. I could
absolutely,
have never in a million years dreamed up where life took me.
absolutely. And I can tell you what I hear, and those who know me know that in this office, I help change the narrative on focusing on how many units you need to sell to how many families we want to serve, right?
Hmm.
That shifts the focus, right? And then success is a byproduct of that we know. So I'm proud of that. And I'm so proud of you. Continued success. And guys, I appreciate you honoring me with your time today. And again, what do I say each and every week? Chime in next week, because I can assure you, I will bring the meat next week, right? So, Jackie, I look forward to seeing you again soon. And my friends, let's go serve another family, and more importantly, let's go take another listing. How about that? Right?
You got this.
Peace. We'll see you guys next week.